Are you a smart person who has noticed that when a conversation really matters, that you over-explain your point? You make the point first, but then you keep talking to add context, to clarify things, to add extra details, to explain why you're saying it. And you're trying to sound professional and anticipate every possible question or objection and answer it up front. You're trying to be precise and respect the other person and make sure that they understand. But then the conversation ends with like this flatlined enthusiasm where they say something like, yeah, thanks, this was helpful, or let me think about it, or yeah, I've got to go, I got a call after this, or I've learned a lot from this. But they don't disagree with you or ask questions or engage in any way. They're disengaged. And you don't even know what they actually thought of the conversation. You don't know what landed and what didn't. And you don't know if anything really moved the needle. The energy has just gone from the conversation and you can feel it immediately. And then when the conversation is over, you start replaying it, thinking about all those things that you should have said or shouldn't have said. And maybe I should have said this, maybe I should have said this different, and trying to analyze like what their next move is going to be. And you just walked away knowing that you talked too much. You know, you said the important parts somewhere in the middle, buried under all that explanation. And that's what over-explaining creates. You see, over-explaining turns momentum into politeness. It collapses it into this sort of polite servant type of posture, which is good sometimes, but it doesn't present you as an authority. It turns interest into delay, and it turns decisions into follow-ups and ghosting and, follow-ups endlessly that never really go anywhere. But compare that to this. Imagine that you just state your point clearly, concisely, with confidence, and the other person reacts right away. They lean in, they answer directly. Maybe they build on what you said. Maybe they ask questions, but whatever it is, you know where they stand in the conversation because they're engaged and the conversation moves forward. What makes the difference between these two types of conversations? It's clarity. Clear points respect the other person's time. They give them something solid to respond to, and you build clarity before the conversation goes off of the rails. So that's the difference, is that you think you're being respectful and you think you're being precise and professional, but what you're really doing is you're wasting the other person's time. Clarity, conciseness, confidence beats detail and precision and over-explaining every single time. And the moment you make this shift in your conversation, you're going to see the magical change that it makes in the other person's response. But it starts with understanding that over-explaining is not respect. It's not something that you're doing that's respecting the other person's position or making sure they understand or that you disclose everything. You're actually disrespecting their time by over-explaining things. And the more high profile a person is, the more important this is, because high altitude people who have a lot of money and a lot of influence, people you really want to connect with, they value their time more than anything, and they do not like it when people over-explain. So what do you do about this to make sure that you communicate with more authority and more clarity? Try this every day when you wake up. Spend 20 minutes taking a paragraph from a book that you really like and just rewrite it, and every time make it more compressed, more concise. Don't dumb it down. Just start looking at every single word and saying, do I really need this word? What it will change is the mental rehearsal that you do to prepare for a conversation. That's what writing is. It's mental rehearsal for your speech. And if you're a person who over-explains, you're probably a person who overthinks, and that's the mental rehearsal you're doing. And that's why when you show up in a conversation where pressure is really high, what does pressure do? It causes us to default to our most familiar behavior. Over-talking comes out as over-explaining. And you're not respecting the other person when you do this. So I want you to practice this every day in the morning while your brain is still sharp, saying something shorter and shorter and more compressed until you finally find yourself doing that during conversations. The difference it makes in your conversations and in people's perceptions of you will be astonishing, I promise. If you got some value out of this video, please like it and share it with somebody else who you think might benefit from this message, and follow me on the social media channel where you found it. Now, this video is part of my Quiet Authority video series, and if you're not already subscribed for that, I'm going to put a link below the video where you can subscribe to get one of these videos every single week. So go ahead and like, share, and subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next video.